welcome to Culture on I-24 News. I'm Oded Grober, happy to be back. And today we've got a very musical show for you. We'll host a rock-funk trio Bushrock here in the studio. And we'll hear about a group of Tel-Aviv musicians who went to sing for asylum seekers in the south of Israel. Bushrock is a band made up of Delmar Brown, Yossi Fine, and Kenwood Denard. These days they are releasing a new album called Reset and will also perform twice in Tel Aviv. I'm very happy to have them in the studio. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So before we start talking about the new album and about the band in general, I want to hear some music. So let's do that and come back to you.
All right.
So this is from a performance in New York, right? There's a lot to look forward to, definitely in Tel Aviv as well. What are you guys singing here?
This was On the Way Out, the name of that song right there.
All right. And is this from the new album?
Absolutely.
So tell me about this new album. What are you resetting exactly?
Well, the idea of Reset, when I was putting it together, you know, is basically there's some songs that were done in a later period and some songs that were done in an earlier period.
Okay.
And I decided, I said, well, you know, I kind of didn't know what to write in terms of new songs. So I said, why don't I just grab the old songs and put new life into them and call it Reset, like the reset, but let's start over. Let's start completely from the beginning again.
Cool.
That was the idea.
I see. And start over. I mean, you've started together a while ago. You've been playing together for what?
Over 30 years.
30 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. The story was that I was a fan of the band, and they were my favorite band in the world. And they came to Israel, and I was, you know, a teenager and bass playing, and I went to see them, and I loved it so much that I collected everybody that recorded that show.
Yeah.
I collected the cassettes so I could practice on the music, and I practiced for a year. Yeah. They came back within 6 months again to Tel Aviv.
Okay.
And I decided to take a bass lesson from their bass player,
okay,
who was like my hero. And so I asked him for a bass lesson, and then they saw that I could play the parts. And when he quit the band, you know, they remembered
wow.
from
What
New
was
York.
that like?
That was a dream come true because that were my favorite band, and I was practicing the whole year on their music. And few hours before I got the call, I told my friend, I was like, man, you know what would be perfect? My dream come true is if I would be able to play in Bushrock. That would be my dream. And 6 hours later, I got the call from Delmar from New York, and
Sometimes
my whole life
dreams come true.
Yeah, it changed.
So you play together on and off, right? I mean, you're not all the time playing together. What's that like? How does that work when you don't play together for a year and
well,
then...
again, the friendship holds it all together. The thing is that we started early, even before the 1984 when we met Yossi, and I went on to play with other people, with Dizzy Gillespie. Delmar went on, he introduced me to Jaco Pastorius, the famous bass player. And so we've done other things, but we always come back to the core, because the core is where the whole heart is, and that's where the passion is, and you can see when we play. So it's not that difficult, really. It's almost as if when we get back together, it's as if we've only been missing each other for one day or 1 hour.
That's great. And do you have set roles? I mean, drummer, vocalist, bass player, obviously, but when it comes to the energy, when it comes to, I don't know, do you have set roles, or do you each bring everything to the table?
Well, it's kind of like, well, Yossi's the bass player, Kim is the drummer, I'm the vocalist and keyboardist. A lot of the songs I wrote.
Yeah.
and me and Woody have been with the concept for a long time. We basically, this record was mixed by Yossi Fine, who did an incredible job on it. And, you know, we kind of, the way I like to see it is like we kind of work together. It's depending on what needs to be done. Yeah. I'll say, Kenwood, can you take care of this?
Yeah.
Or Yossi, can you take care of that? Because I look at everybody's specialties, and, you know, because I can't do everything. Yeah. So, and then when I see that something needs to be done that one of them is better at, I just call them and say, that's me.
And I understand you record everything live together?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
You know.
I flew to New York about a year ago. We had a demand for some shows, and we decided to record. And I went straight to the studio from the airport, and we stayed there for 2 days and recorded the whole thing. And I did not have any jet lag or anything because the music was so good that, you know, we played.
That's how you get over jet lag.
Yeah,
You just go into the recording studio.
Yeah.
Wow, it sounds amazing. Now, you mentioned it. You played with some big names between the three of you. You know, just to name a few: Quincy Jones, Miles Davis, Herbie Hancock, Sting, Lou Reed, David Bowie.
Yeah.
Do you think that the music world still produces this big talent? You know, such big talents these days. Who do you like today?
Us. Us, but bigger. Us, but bigger. You know.
Yeah, I think. Well, you know, as we all know, the music scene has changed, and what we're listening to has changed.
The music business certainly has changed.
The business can change completely. But I feel that now that we've kind of went through this, we've had this long stretch of, you know, music. You know, I kind of like seeing how people, you know, dressed up and everything on TV, computerized and everything. And it's got its great dance music is fantastic. It's great. I think it's kind of turning the corner now. The people like want to have something more organic that they can touch more. And the older music, like when you say Peter Gabriel and these stuff, these were bands that went out on the road for like 18 months and stuff. Right. And it was like an experience. It wasn't just a song. It was an experience.
And that's kind of gone now.
Yeah, it's kind of gone because it got kind of into a hype thing, you know. Yeah. You know, like.
Well, maybe it still will come back. You guys are on the road, right?
I think it's basically, you know, you got to go with the times. So you can't go backwards. You got to go forwards. So I think bringing the organic element back in, like real playing, real musicians. I'm looking at that. I can see that. I can feel it. And then also using the modern things to make it look fantastic and everything. So you get a kind of a combination of both things, and you create a new hybrid of something else.
Well, I can certainly tell that I have three serious musicians in front of me, and it looks like the show is going to be great fun. Yossi, Kenwood Delmar, thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, we'll see you at the Zone Club in Tel Aviv this June 9th and 10th at the Zone Club.
You betcha. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the subject of illegal immigration is a hot topic worldwide. In Israel, the majority of asylum seekers are from Sudan and Eritrea, and for nearly a year and a half, a large number of them have been held in the Negev desert, in the Cholot facility. Recently, an Israeli music group decided to go there, play for the asylum seekers, and try to lift their spirits. David Gombin and Ran Schneck went with them, brought back this story.
This is the story of a tragic journey. Thousands of Eritreans and Sudanese fleeing terror, poverty, and war. In Libya recently, they fell into the hands of Islamic State militants. In Italy, the lucky ones reached Sicily. And in France, they are forced to camp in the Paris metro. In Israel, the arrival of asylum seekers from Sudan and Eritrea goes back much longer. The UN estimates 53,000 refugees and asylum seekers live in Israel. For over a year and a half, a few thousands of them have been sent to the Cholot detention center in the Negev desert. Left there almost completely abandoned and isolated. Fortunately, a music visit will try and help raise their spirits. Our journey begins in Tel Aviv. In an alley south of the city, we meet the Hudna Afrobeat Orchestra. As usual, these young musicians leave from the Hudna bar, their headquarters. Today they gathered for a good cause, supporting asylum seekers from Eritrea and Sudan, held in the Cholot detention center. They boarded a bus for a trip of 150 kilometers towards the Negev desert, not far from the Egyptian border. Managed by the prison service, the Holot detention center is not defined as a prison. Yet the detained are free to enter and exit only between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. And the monthly $100 allocated by the government does not allow them to work in the city. The result, they find themselves alone and abandoned, with boredom as their greatest enemy.
The
mood is very, very difficult here. People are locked up here, mostly for 1 year and 3 months, or a year and 4 months. As I have said, these are people who previously earned their living. Some were leaders in their communities.
And it is precisely to break this routine that members of the Hudna Afrobeat Orchestra decided to make the trip. Today they perform alongside a local group, the Dream Boys, a friendship created during their previous visit.
The last time we visited here, we built a great relationship with the local group who lives here in the center, which are called Dream Boys. Very spontaneous. They joined and sang with us. So this time we wanted to offer them a scene a bit more organized to see what would happen.
These young Sudanese are pleased with the visit and the opportunity to show their difficult daily life in the desert. Just like their soloist suffering in Holot for 15 months.
Like you, right to life. We all have the right to life. We're living in the desert. You know, the life is so miserable right here. We don't even know when it's gonna be the solutions. Someone who don't even understand what is gonna be next. Freedom is everything. Free to say what you want. We all have the same right to use the law.
Music instruments are banned inside the detention center. So slam or spoken word in English is the only way for this genocide survivor from Darfur to shout out his distress.
I'm not a politician exactly. I'm just a musician. I'm a singer. But I try to, send my message to the world. What's happening to me, or what kind of things that let me I living here in Holot Detention Center.
All it took was a few chords to warm the hearts of these selected. In fact, more than music, it is a friendly visit from Tel Aviv that gives them a morale boost in difficult times.
That is I like, because people here, you coming here because you like me, you need to see in situation for me, you say me hi, you say me how are you say me what do you doing. That is for me, it is very, very good.
Dream Boys, 5-star, love Allah, together is love. Thank you so much, brother.
The time comes to head back, and we leave with a heavy heart, leaving these new friends to their desert routine. But a promise is made, to bring the Dream Boys to sing in Tel Aviv. A small ray of hope.
Will the Dream Boys have a chance to sing in Tel Aviv? We'll have to find out during the Hudna Afrobeat Orchestra's performance on the 10th in the Barbie Club. Now, we're almost out of time, but before we go, here's our cultural recommendation for today.
The West has always regarded China with fascination and curiosity. But how does China influence and inspire the West, more specifically Western fashion? The unique exhibition China Through the Looking Glass attempts to answer this question. Chinese antiques, Chinese clothing, all-time masterpieces in haute couture are cleverly juxtaposed by acclaimed director Wong Kar-wai, all drawing inspiration from the Middle Kingdom. Viewers embark on a transcontinental odyssey. Crossing the Anna Wintour wing of the museum, viewers can admire pieces from Chinese imperial era to the present day. Over 140 pieces created by Balenciaga, Alexander McQueen, Chanel or Lanvin illustrate the enormous influence of Chinese decorative arts on Western fashion, diving into breathtaking Chinese aesthetics.
We're done for today, and it's only appropriate to end today's show with music. So we leave you with the sounds of singer-songwriter and guitarist Dabi Toure. Originally from Mauritania, Toure is now based in Paris, and his music delivers a mix of genres. His latest album is titled Amonafi. Here it is. Enjoy.
first time I heard a sound, that was the first time I started music, because it was kind of love, and I fit with something really special.